So this is a pretty big deal. In a new court filing, Capital One says that Donald Trump's accounts were closed in 2021 after months of analysis by its anti-money laundering professionals, not because of politics, as Trump has claimed. His accounts were shut down. He said they did it because, oh, I'm Trump, you hate me. But they're saying actually there was evidence of money laundering. The bank says its AML team conducted a careful review that identified suspicious transaction patterns and made the decision under federal anti-money laundering obligations. This is their response to the Trump organization in a filing today seeking to have their lawsuit dismissed. So that's a pretty major piece of information to drop out of nowhere. And I know that Capital One wants the case to go away, but I kind of want it to continue. I want discovery to continue. I want them to release the evidence they have of money laundering with Donald Trump's accounts that were closed. But pretty crazy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all 152 of y'all within 2 minutes to the Politics of Being Black show. I am Lamont Tyson. Today I have, if you've been with me any in the last 6 years, you all know Monique Nicole. She's the youngest in charge of Atlanta and Hollywood, and I hear she's doing New York now. She's in the building. The new people, you've got to meet Mel, who gives emotional and energy assistance. She's in the building with me. And all of us knew Trump was a crook from the beginning. He's more crooked than the letter S. He's more crooked than a sidewinder in the heat. We all knew that this was going on. That's just a small smidgen of what we're going to talk about. Folks, show starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right. You're in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful, all-woke, all DEI, all LGBTQ+, all equitable, just damn everything sexy as hell host. And look at these wonderful young ladies that are going to help me do this show tonight. Let's get a feel of how they're doing. Mel, we'll start with you. How is your week starting out so far?
It's Monday. I feel pumped. I'm ready to take down evil racists.
As they say in Australia, fucking A. Yes, right. That's what we're going to do. And Monique Nicole, youngest in charge, handling business in LA, handling business in Atlanta, handling business in New York. Chick, can I get some of the frequent flyer miles you got on your card?
Baby, get that Delta MX, baby. Just get the miles, baby. Get the miles, folks, okay?
You already know. She said, get that Delta Amex. Boy, you got to be in elite class to get that shit. I don't know. Your boy Mark can't get no. I can't get that right
boy,
now.
Please, you know damn well you can get one. Stop playing with folks.
I'm going through divorce, my G. So you know your boy Mark got to take it easy right now.
Oh God, we've made the public announcement. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost there. We good,
Jesus.
Folks. If you didn't know, here's what we got going on. In the last quarter, I was the 8th fastest growing progressive YouTube channel in all of politics. Please go tell your friends what I've done to make that happen. I network with a lot of small content creators that don't have big presences on YouTube to help uplift them with my community so they can build presences on YouTube. If you know someone who's trying to get their presence built via IG, TikTok, wherever, they want to get with my audience, tell them to come holler at me. We'll post them, and I guarantee you they'll get some good views. Ladies, let's get started. Let me tell y'all, before we get into it, let me let you all know what we're going to cover. We're going to cover a Tatum, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not talking about Jason Tatum that plays basketball for Boston. And I'm not talking about Channing Tatum, you know, the one that used to be a chipmunk dancer and then he turned actor. I'm not talking about either one of them Tatums. I'm talking about the great value version of a damn Tatum, Brandon Tatum, who is out here besmirching black folks. He's out here besmirching his own damn self. And he's trying to throw gears in the sand of the Nolan Wells case. We've got updates on Nolan Wells. We're going to break that down. We've also got a little bit of the autopsy information going on with him. And we're also going to cover the 10 worst states in the United States to live in. And I'll ask you two ladies, can you guess what they might all have in common? Anybody take a guess?
Go ahead, Mel.
Mel, they have a color. Monique, what do you think?
My mind is going all over the place. I'm gonna let Mel go first.
Thank you, Monique. I'm gonna guess they're all red.
Yeah. You got it. Monique, you got anything to add to that?
Definitely red. I mean, when we say words, we talking financial, we talking how much
All
it costs
of it.
to live, are
All
we
of
talking
it.
racism, are we talking crime rate,
Medical access.
All of it.
the range of what we talking about.
CNBC encompassed all of it.
Okay.
Racism, cost of living, affordability to healthcare, affordability to childcare, all of it got encompassed. And as Mel said, each and every state wears a MAGA hat, which is a damn shame. And we're going to cover that too. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get in it, your boy took one for the team over this weekend. I took a business trip to a place here in North Carolina that is supposedly the largest home ever built in the United States. It's called the Biltmore here in Asheville. And I took one for the team because my channel has progressed into politics. And we fight on this channel hard for the non-erasing of history, the setting people up so they can have empathy and sympathy for everybody and understand the plight that minorities and women have gone through. And I wanted to go to Asheville because it's a progressive town, but you've got a whole lot of surrounding MAGA areas. So I wanted to see, how does the Biltmore present itself? Let me show you guys a couple of pictures of the Biltmore because you might have seen it before. It's a beautiful place, but they didn't present the way I wanted. So this was, if you didn't know, the Biltmore was built by George Vanderbilt II.
Wow.
It's a descendant of a robber baron named Cornelius Vanderbilt. And this was the mistress's room where the ladies go and chill out. It looked like he knew Prince back in the day. This was in the 1890s. He didn't know Prince, but this was a beautiful room. I got some footage of it. And this is the Omni, one of the main resort areas in Asheville. And it has the world famous Grove Park Hotel, which also includes the Blue Ridge Buffet, which is probably the best buffet in all of America. So if you ever go there. But while I was there on this trip, I was trying to understand the culture. I was trying to understand, what are y'all teaching people about the history of the Biltmore? And I was appalled by the things I heard that they did not say on the tour. So if you go there, they give you this little handheld thing where you press a button and every section you go to has a number. They tell you about the history. They watered down the role of African Americans. They almost try to make it seem like what Brandon Tatum says, slavery was a good thing for us. And they made it seem like the people who was working there were kind of on equal footing and wanted to be there and were getting paid equal wages, except for in one area. They made a claim that the white guys were a little bit more educated than the blacks, so they got paid $3.63, I think, per day. And the black people got paid like $1.02 per day, you know? And instead of giving the real history, I knew they wouldn't do it. As minorities, we always understand most places we go, we're not going to get the real history, because if we did, more people would be sympathetic to our plight. More people would dig and understand what we have been through, and they would want to see the kind of change that most minorities want to see. And so what I decided to do was give you guys factual history, and here it is. The Biltmore Estates and the black hands that built it, similar to the same black hands that built the White House. The Biltmore Estates in Asheville, North Carolina, stands as the largest private home in America. Now, I take full opposition to that shit because they are listed as a historical whatever the thing is. That's not private. Stop it. But anyway, George Washington Vanderbilt II commissioned the estate, and construction began in 1898. He was the grandson of Cornelius. Down below, you see the GPT status of Cornelius, the grandfather. Cornelius Vanderbilt built his fortune as a robber baron, much like we see with these tech oligarchs today. A term the 19th century businessman who accumulated massive wealth through ruthless business practices, exploitation of workers, and control of railroads and shipping yards. Much like what we see today with the tech billionaires. They're controlling the social media airwaves. Anybody give them some money, they'll say, don't you say this, don't you say that, and they control it. Last point, and then I'll give the floor to you ladies. The generational wealth funded by Georgia's lavish estate, wealth built on the backs of working people, included working slaves. Black laborers contributed significantly to the construction and daily operation of the Biltmore. They quarried some stone, they cleared land, built roads, worked the farm, cooked the food, maintained the grounds. The Biltmore's presentation today attempts to soften that history using language that minimizes the reality of Black labor and economic exploitation on the property, calling enslaved or exploited Black workers servants, or drawing comparisons that workers down there experience erases the truth of what actually happened. Ladies, I'll give the floor to you. I'll come to you first, Monique. Are you surprised that a place like this is telling people watered down history, which is something we've always experienced from damn near elementary school till now?
So as a Black girl, dark-skinned Black girl, don't let the filter fool you, dark-skinned Black girl from the South that was raised down here, not much surprises me. So no, that does not surprise me. I never been to the Biltmore. Of course, I would always see the advertisements on TV. I'm in Atlanta, so very close to the Biltmore. We're pretty much neighbors, as you know, Lamont. But no, never been there. I'm not surprised. It's the same way why you can drive many places in the South, including Georgia, and they built neighborhoods with the name plantation still in the name of the neighborhood. There's so many plantation this, plantation that here in Georgia. So they don't care about the history. They don't even give the facts about the history. They always want to water it down. I'll be honest. I'm thinking high school here in Georgia, they did touch on things, but it was a college professor of mine who really dove in. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, it was watered down 20 years ago, and it damn sure is watered down in 2026 with we know who was in the office. So yeah, nothing surprises me, Loma. No.
What do you think, Mill? I agree with Monique Nicole. The concentration has gone down even worse. I mean, I don't even think we might got 1% concentration in this Downy softener now. Damn. Can we get some help over here? Tell us about it, Mill.
I have family, young Black women who live in the South, and I'm often concerned for their well-being, because having a different culture here in New York City, it's more openly understood and discussed and regarded as truth that, that's your superficial story. You better make sure you look underneath. And I can notice that that's a different, exactly as Monique Nicole is saying, that's a different experience in those states that still hold what people want to call the history. Why can't people get over the history? Because the history continues to recapitulate. So if it doesn't end or change, you can't claim that people aren't letting it go either. It's pretty common sense. It's pretty illogical to me.
If nothing changes, history will always repeat itself.
Yes.
Always.
100%.
Well said. Great facts, ladies. Y'all post your comments, let us know what you think. Your boy Lamont Tyson's always taking one for the team, getting on the ground, figuring things out. I'm always taking one on the team. Yes, Monique.
Before we move on from the Biltmore, can you speak to what was the staff like there? What was your experience there? How were you treated there? The people, the tourists that were visiting, were they predominantly Caucasian? Were they also mixed race? Were they Black? Were they Asian? Like, speak to some of that, how your experience was there, if you don't mind.
I felt safe.
Okay.
Pretty much most of the tour guides, I felt a very progressive vibe from them. Very progressive. Most of the tourists that were there were predominantly Caucasian. It was a good mix. Of course, you had your MAGAs there, but you also had people that had, blue stuff on, basically saying that we're progressive. But overall, I felt safe. The people in there felt safe. It's just the education they're giving is not safe. And I wouldn't tell minorities to not go. I would tell you to go so that it can spark the intellectual interest for you to go find the real truth, which is what it has done for me. And You know, that restaurant, the Blue Ridge over at the Omni Grove Park that I was telling you about, is a highly progressive place, but they cater a lot to the rich. And I had a wonderful conversation with a waiter there who's a political science major. I won't say anything else, but he kind of gave me the insight on what's going on there. Because if you guys remember, when Trump first got in office, they cut off FEMA funds because they had the flood and all that stuff that hit over there. And Trump cut the funds, and sadly, he cut funds to a lot of people that voted for him around the Asheville area. And, you know, the waiter was just kind of telling me the dichotomy that is so stark with the inner city Asheville versus the surrounding country, and how it was so frustrating to see that economy take a tumble, because the people that voted for Trump was okay with him taking the funds, and it just blew his mind and their mind. But the restaurant he works at is untouched because rich people come there. It's like a resort. It's untouched. And so some of the things that the economy is doing to other people, the rich don't see it. And that's why oftentimes they seem obtuse to the real problems going on the ground. Yep.
Yep.
Y'all let us know. Let us know what you think. Next thing I got for you ladies, and Mel, you'll get to go first on this one. Here is the list of the top 10 worst places and states to live in the United States. It is a MAGA booger bastion. You only want to go there to visit, and you want to make sure you ain't near no southern border state, because boy, they might try to hem your ass up. Take a look at this, ladies.
CNBC just dropped its list of the 10 worst states to live in. And I know a lot of you are not going to like who came in at number 2. They based the rankings on quality of life metrics, things like crime, access to health care, protections for workers, the kind of things it says would attract workers to a state. At number 10, Arkansas, which actually moved up this year, but they got poor marks for violent crime, dead last for food insecurity. Oklahoma, number 9, a cheap minimum wage and poor worker protections hurt the Sooner State. Alabama's 8, poor marks for mental health providers and limited protections against discrimination. Missouri, number 7, one of the most violent states in America, according to FBI statistics, top 10 in firearm deaths, too. Utah is 6th, beautiful state, but bad marks from CNBC for health care and a low minimum wage. At 5, Georgia ranked poorly for worker rights and protections against discrimination. Louisiana was 4th over healthcare access and violent crime rates. 3rd, Indiana, ranked low when it comes to child care, which makes it more expensive for families to live there. At number 2, my home state of Texas. And this is weird, though, because CNBC rates Texas as 4th best when it comes to doing business. When it comes to quality of life, they ranked the Lone Star State low for healthcare reasons. A high uninsured rate, dead last in the country in primary care physicians per capita. And CNBC's state with the lowest quality of life, Tennessee. One of the highest violent crime rates in the country, 3rd highest drug death rate, and hostility toward the LGBTQ community. I know you have some thoughts. What do you think of CNBC's rankings? What'd they get right? What'd they get wrong? Let me know in the comments.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Not a single blue state on that list. But, Mel, you have MAGA and Republicans tell it. They will tell you New York is trash. They will tell you Los Angeles is the bin that's inside the trash can. They will tell you Chicago, you don't want to go. And none of those places made the list. Floor is yours, Mel. Talk to me about that list.
I'm not surprised to hear about Texas, particularly when it comes to access to healthcare. My family suffered a terrible tragedy during COVID when we lost a young woman to childbirth, which is a very unfortunate and common story amongst brown and Black women. Her first child, she was young and healthy beforehand. She had sought help, right? And then ended in tragedy. And I am one of many, 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 many families that can speak on that. We know that the rates of death and pain care or pain management are lowest for Black women in particular, Indigenous women, especially really Native presenting women, also can't get real help and assistance. So is what I'm hoping the people will see from this report is that everything they try to malign in terms of DEI or this obsession with trans people and gay people and all of it, if you want to remain in the pipeline to poverty, just make sure you're in a state that is obsessed with keeping other people from living their best lives. That's it. And then you can remain ill and unwell and maybe even lose your own family members to medical systems that won't hear them when they actually go for help. And this is a huge problem for brown and black women in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, well said. Monique, I'll kick it to you. I agree with Mel that especially if you are a woman, if you live in a state that's mostly controlled by men, and the only time they have a concern about your health care is when they want to be in your panty drawers, and then after that, all they want to do is control your health care, you probably need to go somewhere where people actually want you to have autonomy over your own body, not just when it comes to the bedroom action. And all them states got these silly rules. I mean, just silly rules for women's birth care, women's rights, women's access to health care. And it bothers me to no end. I was raised by a grandmother. A plight of this channel is the support of Black women and women in general, because there's a plight that seems to be going awry here. And Monique, I give the floor to you. All that makes me sick.
So there's so much I'm thinking. So I'll let's go with Georgia since I live here, right? Okay.
You live in Georgia. Okay.
Georgia was number 5 on the list. Now, the gentleman that was speaking, I feel like he was talking really fast. So I'm trying to understand what he was saying. I think he spoke a lot to discrimination factors. I'm trying to process if obviously racism is a big part of that. I also wonder for that list if they took into account that, you know, Georgia is a at-will state when it comes to employment. So there probably are a lot of EEOC lawsuits. You just, when you're in a state where it's at will and you can be fired for at any moment for anything, they don't have to give you a reason. I think that might count. Obviously, Georgia.
I live in one of those states.
Okay.
Now, someone can fire you at will, but they still have to pay you unemployment if your state hasn't gotten rid of it the way North Carolina has whittled it down from 12 weeks to 4.
For what?
Unemployment.
For unemployment?
Unemployment. Full unemployment. So it's basically like
you month
for full benefits. So you might can get like partials and all that.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like someone can just at will. I don't like the way. Let's just say you're dominated by some misogynistic person, and you know you come to work with a nice skirt on, and you be like, "Don't look at me crazy," and he's still looking at you crazy. You be like, "I'm going to report you. I'm firing your butt."
But anyway, that was one thing that crossed my mind. Obviously, the racial factor. A lot of people forget that. Like they think of Atlanta and Metro Atlanta. That's amazing, but Georgia as a whole is still very much so a racist ass.
Yes.
That's not even factor in the cost of living. Really before COVID, Metro Atlanta was very, very affordable. People have been flocking to Atlanta for 20 something years now. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, this is 04, 05, right before Katrina, I had classmates coming from Philly, New York, where else? Chicago. So Atlanta used to be so affordable, and what it's costing now is absolutely disgusting. Don't even get into the real estate aspect of huge companies buying out properties and playing monopoly here with complexes and marking the price up crazy. I mean, that is happening a lot in Metro Atlanta, and it's making it impossible for people to afford to live. I mean, people are barely renting apartments, let alone affording housing. And I know that's happening all across the country, but Georgia was number 5. And I'm just speaking to my experience here. I can tell you right now, and I'll wrap up. When Trump's first term, 2016, I spent most of my life here in Georgia. Understand that. 2016, when he got into office, I had never seen so much bold racism.
Yeah.
You understand? Bold racism. Because believe it or not, I'll speak from my experience, even in the South, before Trump, there was a large group that was still very, very subtle about their racism. Trump got people to be bold. And I will say the racism spiked up in Georgia really bad. Really bad. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Georgia was on the list. Texas, not surprised. I was surprised by like the Utahs and the Missouris and the Oklahomas. But yeah, red states, right? They're so perfect. My God.
Can I add one thing to that, Lamont?
Yes, you can. Let me say this. I guess all the praying they're supposed to be doing, thank you for your service, and thoughts and prayers ain't been working too well for them.
No.
You took that. That is exactly what I was going to say. That everything.
Oh Lord,
that was meaning like you were on the vibe. These are also states that are highly religious in their cultural values, and when you can fool people, it's 2026, folks. If you have offense at me calling any religious story ideology being fooled by a narrative, that's any religion. That tells you something, how easy it is to manipulate the minds of people to get them to continue to be inhumane to one another at their own financial and medical cost, their own spiritual cost, their own, all of it. That's all I wanted to add.
Oh my God. And I'm so sorry. I would be remiss. Georgia's healthcare in the last 4 to 5 years has been heavily scrutinized. I have a lot of friends who work in healthcare in New York, New Jersey, and people who I know that have thought about moving down here. And one of the main reasons that stops them from coming down here is the healthcare system and how it has decreased, especially for women, especially the birthing rights, especially that is one of the main things I meant to say. Oh my God, that I don't know the stats and stuff, but I have been reading some articles over the last couple years. Georgia's healthcare system has gone downhill with the treatment, the care, medical negligence, medical deaths. Don't add in all the new rules that Orange Face put in with women and abortion and this and I have stories, but we don't have enough time for that. There was a national case. There was a national case. If you guys remember and can Google from last year, the national case here in Georgia, where the black girl, remember, right? Okay.
I did a story about that.
Exactly what that hospital. I've been to that hospital. I know people that work at that hospital. Yes.
Wow. So, folks, if you want to know, Georgia had a woman who basically was on life support. That was the only reason she was living. And they forced that woman to stay on life support to give birth to a child.
Yeah.
Against the family's will.
She was incubated at that point.
Right. So y'all post your comments. We've got to do better in those type of states. We've got to quit giving up the power we have, the autonomy we have. And it's up to us to be little engines of education and truth for those people that are starting to see that what they thought was one way really is not that way. That's what we do here on this channel. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, I'm your boy. Send me all your creators that want to try to grow. It's a community effort here. We do a community growth progress where we get people that want to grow. I give them some pub for free, not asking for anything. And we try to grow this thing together, uplift everybody, because right now we need every progressive hand on deck. You feel me? Everyone, because what we're dealing with in this country is abhorrent. And it seems like it's getting worse, but I'm here to tell you, we can come together. We can make some things happen. Speaking of which, it's time for Nolan Wells. The last 30 minutes of this show is dedicated to the stuff that's been going on with Nolan Wells. One big issue today that we saw that Don Lemon, my boy Don Lemon reported on. There was a fake autopsy report coming out basically saying that this boy was drunk. And I was telling Mel last week, I said, Mel, based on that interview Tatum did, I see the narrative happening.
Oh, God.
We sat here last Monday, and we said they're talking about kids drinking alcohol, blah, blah, blah. They're going to try to say the boy was drunk and on drugs and on cocaine. Well, 1 week later, we get this fake ass autopsy, quote unquote, leak talking about dude was drunk, he was on drugs, blah, 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 blah.
The toxic.
Yes, they are saying don't trust it. And so I got a clip of TMZ discussing the independent autopsy that the family did that somehow or another was done faster than the one that the state is supposed to be doing, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. This is infuriating. Take a look.
The Mississippi State Medical Examiner has completed the autopsy on Nolan Wells. We told you that there was a second autopsy. Actually, it was completed before the first one and done by the family. And the cause of death there was undetermined, although according to the family lawyer, Ben Crump, the medical examiner they used privately did not rule out foul play, but on the other hand, apparently has not found foul play. There was a discoloration on his skull, which could involve foul play, but it also could be something like blood pooling when the body was on a slab at the morgue. So we don't know. Right now, there are really no conclusions, at least that have been made public. The official autopsy results remain sealed. They will not be released probably for a while because the DA has already said this case is going to go before a grand jury. And the grand jury is going to, I think, do a couple of things. One, they can subpoena witnesses because remember, the sheriff can't do that. If the sheriff goes to somebody and asks, hey, we'd like to talk to you, the person can tell the sheriff to take a hike. The grand jury, they can subpoena somebody, put them under oath, and they either testify or they take the fifth. But they can force somebody to sit and presumably talk about what happened to Nolan Wells on July 4th.
All right, Monique, I'm coming your way for this one. With the current level of developments coming out in the Nolan Wells case, what are you thinking? What does your background and history and the way you've seen these stories in the past, what exactly is going through your brain? Report to my audience. Let us know what you're thinking.
I don't even know where to begin. I'll just start. I've been very deeply disturbed by this case, as everyone has. Like I said, I grew up in the South. I used to have a lot of white friends. There was a time where little Momo was the only black girl. Okay. And so I see Nolan and I almost see myself, or I see some of my peers who were in those situations. And I don't even want to get emotional, but it's just the fact that these parents, Nolan was in college, 4th of July weekend, you're going out with your friends. A parent's worst nightmare. No parent is waking up thinking, this is about to happen to my kid. My kid is about to be a hashtag. My kid and my family are about to be international news. So it's just, when we do all these conversations and think pieces and videos and reports, I don't want any of us to lose or forget the humanity behind of what's happening. The family's forever changed. And, making matters worse, it's become a shitstorm. And you have kids that are covering up. You have parents that are covering up. You have probably district attorneys. You have people who are covering this up. I want to read something to you guys. Your girl was doing a little research on my way home from work. I was listening to Nancy Grace today in the car, and she had a professional come on. He said a couple things, guys, that I wasn't aware of, and I took some notes, okay? So this is about the autopsy and toxicology report. So he broke it down for the state of Mississippi. There is a state medical examiner, but there also is a county coroner. The state medical examiner essentially provides a service to the county coroner. The coroner is basically an elected official, okay? They do not conduct the actual autopsies in any case. However, they are the gatekeepers to any kind of official documentation that gets released to the media or the public. So under the state statute, the district attorney, the prosecutor, they can basically say, hey, hold off on releasing these documents, which is essentially what is happening right now, okay? And I'm hearing that they're saying that the autopsy is complete. How is it complete? How is it complete when the family had to go out of the state of Missouri or Mississippi, I'm sorry, and they found what? His throat missing. His body was badly decomposed. And now we're finding out that it's going to a grand jury. I'm worried that they're going to hold on to that documentation until trial. I mean, and God knows how long that's going to take. God knows what more manipulation and tweaking, and who knows what could happen. I don't like any of this. I think this has been done piss poor. I think there is corruption written all over this.
Yeah.
Those boys know something. I'm sick of watching political pundits gaslight and do all this and keep pushing the line is always moving when it's one of theirs. We know what we heard. We had professionals who listened to the recording, isolated the vocals, did all. We heard some criminating things on that 911 call, and I'm sick of them gaslighting us.
Mel, before I give the floor to you, let me just add to more of the frustration of why we're all here frustrated. Why is that boy's stepmama, the judge, have any involvement? I cannot get over how that bitch was allowed to have her phone number be the one that you call to give incriminating details. Where you do that at? To steal from the black lady? Where the hell you do that at? Okay? If that had been any black judge who was a progressive and her stepson was involved in something like this, and let's just say it was a bunch of niggas with one white boy who got drowned, you think good and damn well that they about to let that judge stepmama have her phone number be listed for you to call in information about this case? Oh, no way me, in my French talk, no way me. As my children would say, find the map, I'm the map. No. Floor is yours, Mel. Floor is yours.
How am I supposed to follow that now? What's
the map right there.
You know, Monique, I'm with you on this one. This is a total shit show, and it's predictable. This is like a bad SVU episode. Like, this is like predictable. We can point out the bad guys. It's so awful. And for people, what I saw, something that really shocked me, which is to say something these days, is not just the fact that, thankfully, I mean, I never thought I would be grateful to TMZ for making sure justice is being done. But for people who think, oh my God, people make such a big deal about this and what's going on. Do you know, I have heard racist white men come out in celebration of this moment on social media.
Yeah.
I have witnessed and heard racist white men say, yeah, that's what we did. And that's the tradition we hold. And I was like, and that's why. And that's why we have to do this. And that's why everybody has to come together and put a spotlight on it until it is properly resolved, because of that. It's not a question. It's not a small doubt. It's not a, what if it's racism? It's a, hey, this is probably racist, so let's handle it. That's the approach I would prefer that we took. We just assumed this is Mississippi. This has a bad history. If I was an elected official in Mississippi, I would desperately want to get ahead of this and demonstrate doing everything I could to help this family that is living a trauma every day for the rest of their lives, having to pick up the pieces and move forward. It's clear to me. It's not hard to figure out whether this is being done correctly or not. If any of us here were part of a panel and worked for that state, we would want to do everything we could to make sure that we look like we were doing the best we could by that family. That is not what's happening.
No.
Nope.
So we don't have to keep pretending and wonder and what. No, bullshit. Stop. We have to absolutely start with this is probably racially motivated and then go from there. And when the evidence stops pointing towards racial motivation, then I'll have a more open mind about other explanations.
It's just, I forget the saying where it's like 2 things are a coincidence, 3 things are a whatever. It's just like, there is way too much shit. I'm sorry. From the day one, before the 911 tape was released, the fact that they lied to the mom damn near begged for the cell phone. She got the cell phone. Shit was deleted. Pictures, timelines, location, text messages were deleted. From that moment before we heard the tape.
Yeah.
Then one of the fucking kids, the mom is a goddamn judge. Is it judge? She's a judge.
Yeah, she's a judge. She's a judge. Stepmama.
You can't make this up.
You literally couldn't. It's like a bad TV show.
Then we hear the tape. And I have watched, first of all, shout out to Don Lemon. I have really been watching his YouTube channel on a daily basis the last couple weeks. And I'm just I love what he's doing. I love the coverage of this case. I love the people he has on. Of course, we know Nancy Grace, baby. She and her Bob is on top of it. I have to shout out to them for just always having integrity and being amazing journalists and standing up for what's right. And they really do deliver amazing coverage, guys. So I definitely say tune into them weekly for updates on the case, but it's a shit show. I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about how this is going to go about, honestly.
Same here. And to Mel's point, as we transition to the next phase or next haze over this case, Mel mentioned how, white men are out here celebrating that this boy is dead, right? Clapping it up, out there clapping like a damn circus seal. I'm happy, just doing stupid shit, right? Well, Mel, let me tell you something. It hurts people worse when one of our own is doing that same shit. When we got one of our own black men being a damn tote bag for the white man, okay? And I'm not talking about a Chanel purse either. I mean, maybe you can call it Chanel, but it's spelled shit purse. He's a tote bag for white dudes, okay? There's this guy named Brandon Tatum. He's a failed cop. He's a failed football player. And all that leads to personal insecurities on his side. He wants to be somebody. And the only way he could find to be somebody was to appease white, rich, racist dudes and to be their lapdog. He has caused a haze over this case because he's been granted access to interview these boys. And the one thing I know about white people who are like that, they will let a black dude come and interview you if they feel like they can control you. If they feel like you can be bought by their cases. But what hurts other African Americans who know better, who are woke, is when he get on TV shows, builds his contrast by throwing us under the bus with stuff like this. And there's a war going on between him and DL, and we'll get to that in a minute. Oof. But this is what this man is made of. Take a look at this guy. Where they find these type of dudes at? I mean, it's like, did Clarence Thomas nutting his mama or something? Anyway, here we go.
And then Charlie Kirk said black men like you were better off during slavery. Do you agree with him?
Now, listen, 100%.
You believe 100%?
Wait, you after slavery. Let me explain, because maybe you don't know black history. No. You don't understand black history, and you don't understand what Charlie was saying.
During slavery, it was only like 2% of white people that owned slaves. Who else was
Who else were picking at cotton out there? You know, they act like all white people were sitting around.
To elaborate on that, because I've been down that path, as you know, I appreciate that the entire Southern economy benefited off of slavery, but the counter argument to that is that the North chose not to, and that 350,000 white guys died to end slavery. So it's like, why can't we look at both sides of this? With the point being, not all white people are your enemies. Some of them stand shoulder to shoulder with you at the darkest times.
I'm sorry. I
couldn't hide my damn face.
So that was so much bullshit, and then I thought I was at a rodeo.
Oh,
for real.
I
was ready for a red cape to just drop down in front of my camera, because that was, man, let me tell you something. First of all, those numbers about 2% is just hogwash. That's number one. She openly admits that the production of slaves and what they did in the South created fortune for this country. And then she openly admits that there was a war fought to liberate slaves, but that war really and truly wasn't fought over slaves. It was fought over states' rights, okay? And then she wants to get credit for ending something that was immoral in the first place. She wants to get credit for the white people that did it. And let me tell you something, neither one of them two white folks, and I'm calling Brandon Tatum a white dude, neither one of them two white folks are the type that we need to be uplifting, that she said we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with, because they're not for us. Floor is yours, Mel. I'm gonna let Monique get her stuff together, because boy, I see it coming. But I'm gonna give the floor to you first, Mel.
I was gonna say I want you guys to handle it first, but Monique, you need a second.
I
just want to start calling out some bullshit. First of all, Tío Tomás, Spanish for Uncle Tom. I think people forget where we get that language from. I think people need to go back into the literature with which we make the reference of a fucking Uncle Tom. Okay. So I would want the audience to do that for themselves and why we use that language here. That's number one. Number two, I am tired of non-divisive rhetoric being co-opted to create more division. It is absolutely true that not every white person is your enemy, nor, to quote one of my dearest Black mentors, is every Black face your friend. That goes for all of us and whatever.
Yeah.
Do not conflate that truth that can bring us together with the origins of that war. That war was not white people having a realization of the inhumanity that was being, how we were treating the slaves, and we will rise up. And I'm saying we as pantomime, Mexican American and Puerto Rican, we were not here yet. So we're doing a different thing. But that makes me so angry, because you take what could be good, linking up together and saying, look at the common enemy, look at what is here before us, and then you conflate it with misinformation about history that most people, by the way, don't know accurately enough. That is why they are manipulated by that. And that is what gets me so incensed, that this is so easy to sell to people that they can't identify all those layers of mishmash bullshit. But I'm so grateful we are here together to do that. And thank you, Lamont, for letting us do that with you, because I want people to understand how that is damaging. Especially coming out of white lesbian's mouth. And I went to Smith College. All right. I will call out the intersectional minority white women who want to claim a certain platform and then misuse it. Let's go, girl.
Just like the fake feminists out there. Like, y'all were the fake ass fucking dumb bitches who marched for, I don't even.
Bring it, Monique.
The floor is yours, Monique.
The thing is, I'm really, I'm trying to find the words, because I'll never understand a Black person that goes against their own. That's just not something that my brain can compute. I can't even I don't even have a real rebuttal, except for I think Brandon Tatum is a white supremacist. Like, I just think he's a white supremacist. The rhetoric, the dangerous rhetoric that he spews out his mouth. You're saying some fuck shit when you got white people gagging. When you got white people and other minorities looking at you like, what the fuck did you? That's how you know you done just jumped off the ledge. You're on planet Pluto. Like, I don't know what to say to that.
Let me help you, Monique. It's called self-hate.
How Nancy Grace, I don't know if y'all saw the clip of him on Nancy Grace, and he was humming a homina, and she had to gather his ass. Then this Brandon Tatum, which I just found out who the fuck this guy was barely.
Me too.
And I'm glad I don't know who he is, because he's a waste of space, a waste of a black man on this planet. He really wants to be white. And then one day ago, the YouTube channel Jubilee just dropped Officer Tatum versus 20 black liberals. I was trying to send it to you now, but shit, my phone is not working. So I saw clips of it. It is, oh my God, it's 2 hours long, Lamont. I don't think I can stomach that. The clips that I saw was crazy. I think you would enjoy watching it.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I don't like debating with people that don't use fact.
I think you would appreciate the liberals.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I read in the comments, he cut them off a lot. The moderator wasn't the best, so that probably is going to be a little frustrating to watch. But I, just like you, I hate misinformation. Maybe that's the journalist in me. I do not misinformation. And I'm okay. Like, we don't always get it right. Like, I'm okay with like walking it back. But you know what I'm talking. I'm talking about willful ignorance and willful misinformation. That infuriates me too. This guy, I don't know anything about him. I don't really want to know about him. But I know he embarrassed himself on Nancy Grace last week, and I'm glad she got his dumb ass together.
I saw that too, and it makes me sad when we're excited that like a white woman schools a black man.
Yeah. And I mean, he was up there cooning his ass off. Like, let me let y'all in on a little game. If y'all don't know, oftentimes black people, we be cooning for white folks, and we always calling them miss. It's one thing to call your elder a miss, but when this is someone who's not too far off in your age, and every single sentence is miss, you're cooning. Well, that's insider track.
Let me get context. He was saying that to whom?
Nancy Grace every 5 minutes.
Oh, he sure was. And I couldn't, it did feel like a bow down, yes, miss. That I also was like, was he being condescending, or was it more so of the well, yes, well, technically, that's the vibe he was getting. I mean, she was asking him legitimate questions, and he said something, then he took it back. He said something, it was the autopsy, right? He kept like, he couldn't figure out. He just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
And that's most MAGA. They don't use fact. They use opinion. And then they try to find a shred of truth in something. And then they try to distract you from the real thing. And he's been getting his ass whipped. And D.L. Hughley got in that ass. I got in it. A whole lot of people got in it. And all that getting in his ass has made him come out and clap back at DL. Take a look at this, and I'm going to ask you ladies, the question I want to know from y'all is, what's too far? And he goes so far in his retort, I'm telling y'all, it struck a nerve. And when MAGA men get their little egos bruised and their insecurities bruised, they behave like this. Take a look.
First of all, D.L. Hughley is not on my level. One point in time, D.L. Hughley used to be the man. At one point in time, I used to like D.L. Hughley, and I thought he was funny. Now, he was not even the top 5 in the Kings of Comedy, in my opinion. But I thought I respected his game. Just to grow up and realize D.L. Hughley is a simp, and he's a beta, and he's a crybaby, allegedly worth $10 million, but he's still crying about the white man every day. And he crying about the white man, yet he worked for white men companies. He's so black that he don't even care about black women enough to not cheat on his wife. He posted a picture of my wife. At least I ain't cheating on my wife. He cheated on his wife, got an outside baby. And a very unfortunate situation happened with his outside baby. And he want to come at me when he wasn't even there to protect his children. Then his young daughter gets into a sexual situation with a minor, where they both were minors, and she came to her dad in confidence, her black father, in confidence, and said she was being abused, and he didn't believe her. Brother, why are you talking about me? Why are you talking about me? You need to be worried about your own household. All the drama I just mentioned with his inner family ain't not one of the suspects in that situation white. A white man didn't cheat on your wife. A white man didn't abuse your daughter. And a white man didn't take the life of your infant child whom you had out of wedlock while you were married. These are all black people doing this. And yet you cry about white people every day of the week.
I'll just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me. You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
People consider me as Officer Tatum because I became famous as Officer Tatum. And D.L. Hughley, that's your stage name. You still going by your stage name, Negro. You ain't even a comedian no more, passing out on stage and stuff. You ain't even funny no more. But you going by D.L. Hughley.
You talked about it.
He said, I didn't make the team, or I didn't make it to the NFL. Okay, I don't think that's anything somebody can be sad about. And I'm also glad I don't have CTE either, so it's not all bad. You would never make it to. You won't even make it to college. You were in high school, little beta male talking about. Then I became a cop. What did I do as a cop? I protected black people with my life. D.L. Hughley is telling.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Let me tell y'all something.
Okay. Sorry.
He's telling y'all he ain't got CTE right. I can't tell. His ass probably would have been a better human being if he he would have went to the NFL, got hit in that head a couple of times. Because all that stuff he just said is such gaslighting, such bull jive. But what I want to know is, what I see from that is D.L. Hughley struck a nerve with him because the inner person in that man went low blow because he knows he's licking the boots of white people because he hates himself. He hates the skin that he's in. He knows he's kissing white booty holes because he does not like being black. He resents the fact that Clarence Thomas spit in his mama and gave him that color. He resents that. And I'll just say, dude, if you're having those kind of closet problems, just go get the vitiligo surgery Michael Jackson got. Go get that Sammy Sosa and come back white. And just stop bashing black people. And to say that you became a cop and you were protecting black people, how the hell is we supposed to believe that now when you're not even protecting us from a damn microphone? Floor is yours, Mel.
I think I need a second.
Okay, well, I'll give the floor to Monique Nicole.
No, like, what the fuck? That was so much shit that he was talking.
Uh-oh.
There.
Okay, there she go. There she go. There she go.
Is that me?
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh no. I think Momo is about to shut the show down, boy. That her booth is on fire. Okay, well, we'll get to her when she come back. Mel, you take the floor real quick.
I don't even think we need to waste our time on being aggravated or reactionary. What we do need to do is recognize that when someone is being criticized professionally for the job they're doing or for a lack of integrity in how they execute their professionalism and their morality consistency, then you don't, if somebody then goes and attacks on a personal level, everything he said about D.L. Hughley could absolutely be 100% true.
Right.
And it is irrelevant to everything that we are speaking about when it comes to this person. So that's what I think the audience, I'd really like them to just clock that, just recognize that when somebody's really out of their depth and unable to cope, they're going to attack personal. That's all. We don't even have to get all upset about it. That could all be true. That could all be true about Mr. DL. And you know what? It's completely fucking irrelevant to how this man is conducting himself. So let's stop with the gaslighting. Let's pull it back. Thank you for telling me all those things that were irrelevant. Now let's bring it back to you, sir, and let me know what you're doing professionally. That's how we don't need to get all, fuck you. You can't fool me with that. Anyways, back to what about you. That's how I would handle that.
Floor is yours, Monique. You get the last word.
Monique's in.
I was having issues, child. I think Brandon Tatum trying to cancel the damn video because we about to go ham turkey grits on his ass.
Monique, you got to remember you're using the white man's internet. He probably done made a phone call to every black person that's using the white man's internet.
That's what your channel, baby. Your channel on fire. I don't really have much to say. I really don't have much to say, like, about someone who hates being black. Like, there's nothing I can say. There's no amazing point I can make. I could present this motherfucker with a PowerPoint presentation of nothing but facts, and all he's gonna do is spit on it. Someone in the comments said that they watched the video that I was referring to on YouTube on Jubilee, and they actually said it was really good. The young folks really gave it to him with some amazing facts. So I think I will watch, at least I'll probably give it 20 minutes. I have nothing for him. He hates his own kind. I don't know where that stems from. That is something he would have to talk to with a therapist, but that takes self-awareness, right? So that's never going to happen. There's something that happened to him long time ago where he did not feel good enough. He felt like black was not good. He thought white was right. And he was conditioned from a young age, maybe adolescent years. Something happened. I'm not a psychiatrist and I don't want to be, but it's something deep rooted. And I'm not going to argue with someone who hates being black. Like, you hate your own skin. You hate your own people. So no matter what I say to you, it's not going to register. But I do want him to get the fuck off of TV and stop doing bullshit and lies and misinformation. Now, that is where people like DL and other intelligent people are going to keep coming for his fucking neck. Because what you're not going to do is go on public platforms with this type of case, with someone's life on the line, someone's family on the line, justice on the line. You're not going to go on a public platform and continue to spew misinformation and lies and then cover it up. Because then we're going to keep coming for you, baby. We're going to keep coming for you.
That's right.
And he knew
what shout out
from having kids on his channel, on his podcast, and them white people. Let me shut up.
No, I'm gonna let you go.
Like, we're stupid. That was all part of the plan. Then you have the stupid little white boy, his dumbass daddy. They think we're fucking stupid. They're gonna put up, I almost said bail money, Lord Jesus, reward money.
Right.
They're gonna put up reward money for no. Y'all think y'all motherfucking slick. Then, correct me if I'm wrong. Either none of them or a couple of them did not go to the funeral. If your friend passed away unexpectedly, tragically, drowned, you were just spending the last hours with him, would you not go to the funeral and pay respects if you're innocent?
Right.
Why would you not go bury your friend?
Momo, I'm going to tell you like I told Mel. I was telling Mel last week, first of all, if I lost my friend on that island and my friends know exactly who I'm talking about, I'm probably not coming back till I find y'all. So the boat would have came back without me on it because I'm not leaving till I figure out where my friend's at, what happened to him. Can I find a body or something? So it just goes to show you how much of a friend these people were. They weren't real friends. Anytime you scapegoat somebody in the way they did, it lets you know who they really are. And I'll say this when we get out of here. You really figure out who your real friends are in your darkest of hours, in your toughest of times. Amen. I done had to filter my damn circle in these last couple of dark months of my life. Because when you see people smile in your face when everything's good, when you can go to the party. But when them lights get turned out at the party and somebody got electrocuted, who's left standing to tell the truth is your real friend. And folks, that is our time. Their links will be in the video description. Ladies, I got to jump on another call. We're going to get out of here. Don't forget to like the video, folks. I'll be coming back with more content. Please subscribe to these great ladies. They put out some of the best content that you can find. And I will make sure that I bring them back. And we're going to have to take them for 2 hours on the next ride. Until that next Sex is Hell video, we're out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.